Here we go. Hello and welcome, everyone. Let me go ahead and get myself spotlighted. Welcome into another Doc Talk presented by Sports Management Worldwide. My name is Ike. We'll be kind of running the technical side, the behind the scenes sort of things, while we have you all here to listen in to Dr. Lashbrook, president and founder of Sports Management Worldwide and an NFL agent for just about 25 years now. And he will be joined by Brian Lowe and Perry Boler, both of whom are agent advisors themselves. And all three gentlemen co-represent KaVontae Turpin, the superstar and current star of the Dallas Cowboys, and someone who we're very excited to talk about here tonight. Just some ground rules before we bring up the three gentlemen who you actually want to hear from. Just wanted to let you all know that we will keep you all muted during the talk until we bring you up on screen for your questions. That is something that we want to encourage. Make sure that you guys do have questions and you click the raise hand button, which if you're on desktop will be found in the reactions area. And if you're on mobile will be found in the participants list. So if you do have those questions, make sure you click that raise hand button and we will get to you and we'll bring you up on screen. Also, make sure to use the chat box. That's kind of the great place to pass notes, as Dr. Lashbrook says, and we won't kick you out. In fact, we actually encourage it. So drop your LinkedIn, let us know where you're coming from and all those good things. So without further ado, I'll bring on Dr. Lashbrook and he can take it here. So
okay, can you microphone check? All good?
Yep, got you loud and clear. Let me spotlight you for everyone. There you go. Go ahead, Lynn.
Okay, thank you so much. I want to welcome everyone, and so proud tonight, 25 years later, started a company after the Jerry Maguire movie with an agent advisor program, athlete management. And we've gone through a lot. We've had a lot of success. I've had a lot of success, but my dream was to watch agent advisors represent and become successful agents. And I think 25 years later, I think we have the story, kind of the poster child of where we're going as a company and our agent advisors all over the world, 163 different countries. Now we do all sports, but I've never been so proud of the KaVontae Turpin story. We call it Turpin time, and we're going to have some fun tonight. Thank you for joining us. You that are SMWW students, some are new and curious who we are. We'll do a good job answering your questions. And Adam, Mikhail, and Sarah, everybody, Ike and Sharice, I appreciate all of you. So what I'd like to do with Brian and Perry tonight is they'll tell their story, and then we'll get into the KaVontae story. So Brian, let's welcome you first in, kind of starting with high school. Take a few minutes and tell them your story, how you got involved with SMW, but kind of your story off the field, if I may. Can we get Brian in?
Okay. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah,
can everybody hear me?
Good to see you, buddy. Your hips look good tonight.
Thank you, Doc. Thank you, Doc. It's always a great time being in your presence. Hey, listen, I just want to thank SMWW for having me on, and Perry, on behalf of Team Up Sports. My background has been about 23 years, actually, professional in sports in general. I'm originally from Louisiana. Born in Colorado Springs, raised in Louisiana. Went to high school at Carroll High School in Monroe, Louisiana. 4-year football athlete, shot put and track, and also ended up going to Grambling State University for college. Family member to Eddie Robinson, the legendary coach. So I had no other option to go to college but to Grambling, or to the Army, as he would say. So I accepted the scholarship there, played 4 years under Coach Eddie Robinson, won his 400th career win back in 1994, 95, I'm sorry, and finished up my season there in 95. I got my undergrad in therapeutic recreation and leisure studies. Went on to do about 2.5, 3 years in that field, and decided I can't get sports out of my blood here. So I ended up going back in my master's in sport administration and management, and went on from there. I went directly to a gameplay sport marketing in Portland, Oregon. This is where I began my relationship with Dr. Lashbrook. Dr. Lashbrook was actually one of the key speakers there. And so I was very eager to get in the business, and certainly he proposed a very great platform, and it made a lot of sense to us. So I was one of the ones in that academy that stepped up, introduced myself and said, look, I'm Brian Lowe, and I'm interested in getting in sports. And from there, it's been a great relationship with Dr. Lashbrook. He accepted my invitation and mentored me all the way through a greater half of my career in professional sports. But that was the day that I met Dr. Lashbrook. I ended up going through the Game Face Academy training, and I did so well. I ended up going to the Pittsburgh Pirates as a sales representative, sales and marketing representative, and then I left there, went to the Orlando Magic, worked a little bit with the Portland Trail Blazers, and then I went on to the Washington Nationals. From there, from the Washington Nationals, I went to the Olympic Committee, the United States Olympic Committee, and then from there, I went to the Amateur Athletic Union in Lake Buena Vista, Florida. Then made my way back to Memphis with the Grizzlies, and then Oklahoma City. So that's been my career in sports in the front office setting. So I things took a different twist. I decided to get out of the front office setting and start my company, Team Up Sports Consulting, LLC. And one division of it was a agency, and I wanted to be able to become an agent. And that's where I reconnected the dots with Dr. Lynn Lashbrook, kept a great relationship with him. I know he remembers that phone call when I said, Doc, I want to be an agent.
Yeah,
and certainly he said, well, look, here's a program that would suit you just right. Said, take a look at this link, take a look at this program. It's going to make a lot of sense. It's going to get you where you need to be. So it was no doubt to trust Doc and his expertise, as I've always done throughout my career. And went through the 8-week program, and I hit it from there. Got my certification through SMWW. Doc directed me well throughout the program, and ushered me to my first client. So that's how we got there.
Great stuff. Let's go to, thank you so much, Brian. Let's go to Perry with his introduction. Perry, assuming you also went to high school, come on in, Perry, and tell him your story.
Basically, I finished high school in Hawaii. I went to school and also in North Carolina. But to make a long story short, I completed my undergrad degree from Western Carolina University. Came and finished my graduate program at Grambling State University along with Brian Lowe. And basically, I went 2 years into my doctorate, haven't finished that yet, but I always knew I was going to be in sports. Some way, form, or fashion, I was going to be in sports. And I ran into Brian some years ago, and he was always so busy and everything. And so he said, well, who is this guy keep bugging me and everything? And probably 10 years later, I met him at a conference that Grambling was sponsoring. And basically, he took me under his wing. And shortly after that, he told me about SMWW. I talked to Lynn at the conference that we had in Nevada, and actually completed my agent advisory test as an agent. Then I also finished my general management for basketball for SMWW. So I completed that as well. And I've been grinding ever since as far as knowing I want to be an agent. And so basically I've been doing things on a small scale with basketball and football. And Brian introduced me to KaVontae.
Yeah.
And Brian, he said, we have a plan for him. Like, he went through a situation, and so let's have a plan for him.
Yeah.
And we completed the plan. We went and had him go through.
Well, let's wait on KaVontae now. That's anything else you want to add to your personal story before we go back to Brian and start the KaVontae, both of you on that story?
No, I just knew I wanted to be involved in sports as an agent.
I love it. Yeah. Okay. So Brian, let's walk through. I've always preached relationships, and start from scratch. Who is this KaVontae Turpin? He has not always been with the Cowboys. Back us up, because I think the story symbolizes what our hope is, the relationships out there. Everybody has relationships. And you both have done a marvelous job, an incredible story, one I'm so proud of. And hence, that's why we're doing a Doc Talk, to share the story and answer questions and get many people to grow and get confident of the story. It can happen to you also. Brian, back to you and this guy named KaVontae Turpin. I didn't know anything about him. Tell us the story.
That's right. Well, you know, like I said, I'm from Monroe, Louisiana, and everyone knows talent in Louisiana. It's a big football town, state rather, Louisiana. And KaVontae Turpin was this kid from a very rough neighborhood. I've always known him since he was a little boy, so watching him in the YMCA Pee Wee League, he would be dominating all the way. He'd be that little kid. He was always the smallest kid. And I was actually out of college in professional sport. I was working with the Pittsburgh Pirates at the time when he was just a young boy. And I came home, and I would always go out to go see the kids play at the YMCA League. There was this little kid that just turned everybody's head. He was the smallest little thing on the field, and they always thought he was in the wrong age division, but he was in the right division. But the kid had so much blazing speed and talent at a young age. And I followed his career all the way through junior high to high school. He was a 4-star athlete in high school. So the connection there was through our friends, actually. So I never approached KaVontae before. I had a great relationship with his family, the Turpin family, primarily his uncle, John Tay Turpin. And so the relationship was there. And as KaVontae kept going, yes, Hike had a phenomenal high school career, got signed with TCU after winning the state championship at Neville High School. And certainly I did not recruit him then. I did not even touch him. I actually knew the family very well. So as he came out of TCU, he had an agent already. And of course, the relationship was much stronger with us from a family. So some of the things that he needed, the relationship, the communication with his prior agent, he just wasn't getting. And so he was looking for something a little bit more personal that he could really trust. And that relationship connected me with KaVontae Turpin. So KaVontae and I knew his family, but we really connected on a personal level, and went out several times to dinners, lunch, get to know each other. And that relationship just grew and grew and grew. And this was a kid who was actually, this was at the time when he had just come out of TCU. Okay. Right. So I was there just as a men's family manager.
But was this, let's go back though. Was he suspended? Was he suspended, left school early?
Yes, he left school early. Yeah, and I just want
everybody to know circumstances. We don't have to get into those details tonight. It's all over. But basically the circumstances where he had an agent because he left school early. He lost his eligibility, if I may. And so he had an agent. Now go.
Yeah, so he had an agent, lost the eligibility. He had an agent, and his agent, he didn't, obviously couldn't get him nowhere at that time. And as he put it, just didn't really put the effort into it, and certainly didn't have the interest in doing so. He was really fishing for some other big fish. But at the time, KaVontae was sitting in Dallas, Texas, really rotten.
But tell him where he was. He did play some places before you met him. Where did he go play?
He was in Dallas, Texas, where he played for an indoor football league, the Frisco Fighters. And so all of that talent there just, and COVID hit and things just did not take off for him. Yeah. So he was there in Dallas just really existing and didn't have any opportunities. So that's when the family came to me, and they were a little frustrated with the agent. And they said, listen, Belo, we got the best relationship with you, and can you help my son? That's what his mom said. That's what his uncle said. Can you help my nephew? And at the time, you got to remember, I was actually, and Doctor will remember, we were one of the two agents that had a shot at him, even coming out of TCU.
Right.
But he chose another agent. So here we are. We stayed in touch, always support, always gave him guidance. Though he had an agent, just being a family friend and being able to support him. Yeah. And at that point, he wanted to come with us. And so that's when we got him. I signed him, and I brought Perry Boler in the mix. We set a plan. We knew the politics that was out there, and we knew the things that was against him. And we set a legit plan of how we need to get him in the league. And so
Right.
that's how we got there.
And before I go to Perry, let's talk about getting to the USFL. How difficult was that mechanism? I just want everybody to know we moved quickly. I listened, and I even had my doubts because I didn't know the relationship like you did. But let's go to, how did you get him in the USFL, coming from his background of situation that he did get rectified, but this is a long time out. I mean, he's in Poland, fan control league. I mean, it's a bizarre story. I've never witnessed anything like it. Talk about getting to the USFL. How did he get there?
Go ahead, Perry. I'll let Perry take that.
Basically, it started before the USFL.
Okay.
One of the coaches that he had in the spring league was actually a coach in the USFL. And
Right,
he said
right.
that KaVontae was like dynamic. He said that it would be a sin for him not to participate in the USFL. So basically, I had a conversation with the coach, and the coach said, listen, we're going to do what we need to do to get him in the league. We know his situation, and we're going to try to overcome it. In fact, they've done an extensive background check on KaVontae, and they saw everything that went on. And the relationship that I had with him and a couple other coaches that I already knew say, listen, we know his talent. We have to get past the other stuff that goes along with it.
Right, of course.
And he said, Perry, I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to give him an opportunity. And when they gave him that opportunity, and he went in and he practiced and played, he said, we have never seen anyone with the type of work ethic that KaVontae has. He's actually a coach right there on the field. And so he was teaching the other receivers and the DBs about different formations, how to do this, how to get away. I mean, just a lot of the things that receivers.
So let me interject some. Mike Riley, longtime coach at Oregon State, very successful college coach and pro coach, actually had Ryan Leaf when I lost Ryan Leaf to Lee Steinberg. It all comes back together. But let's go now, USFL MVP, Mike Riley's coach of the year. You guys have done a marvelous job. Now let's talk about, because I want our audience to know the next step, getting to the NFL and the challenges that was. Brian, do you want to start and Perry can come in? How did you get a guy from the USFL, an untested league, 1 year in, even though he's MVP? There's 32 teams. Not all 32 teams bid on him. So tell us that story from your end, and I'll let Perry add.
Well, we one of the things that we did was we got KaVontae to understand what it was going to take to get noticed and be able to be the best in that league. And so that's going to, we actually, and Perry did a great job with, we all got in the office. We actually got on the drawing board. We got on the drawing board and we got it, and we identified what were the pros and the cons that about him that's going to have to stand out, and things that we're going to have to strengthen in order to get to that next level. And number one, when you're talking about a guy that's 5'7", 153 pounds, we really got that on in.
And 26 years old.
Yeah, 26 years old. So we when you're talking about all of those cons, you're 26 years old, you're not going to look great on paper. You got this situation that you went through. Here's what we got to do. We got to keep our nose clean. We've got to know how to communicate to the public. We got to be involved in the community. We got to do what the coach say, regardless of what you like or not. I remember KaVontae's first 4 games, he didn't even get a touch. He was just really used on special teams mostly, but he wasn't getting the touches. Very frustrated. And I said, look, we got to go back to the same drawing board. We got to be humble. Wait for that time. And we had to tell him, when you get your time, you've got to shine. And so, a lot of people don't realize that as an agent, you're really that much of a mentor to them, to help guide them mentally, to make sure that they're doing the right thing off the field.
Right.
That's going to make an impact.
Brian, let me add something. From my perspective, you'd call me all the time, and you were sending out videos and tapes, both you and Perry. You guys were working the phones. I had a rule, you don't agent your way to the next level, you advise. But God bless you, because no registered agent I know of would have spent that much time for a 26-year-old that's never played in the NFL. But as you did that hard work and not bugging, very professional but persistent, let's talk about how the Cowboys even took your call, if I may. Let's go there.
Yep, Perry, you want to divert?
Go ahead, Perry. This is good stuff for everybody. It's very inspirational, both of you.
Actually, it started a year and a half prior, because I had always contacted the executive director of player personnel for the Cowboys, Will McClay.
Yeah.
Talked to him and a number of other guys, Mr. Chairs Hall. They were always interested in him. But the thing that I told him, I said, listen, you don't want to pass up on this young man. I know you've been watching him for the last couple of years. You want to bring him into camp until that situation happens. So I stayed on him, stayed on a lot of other teams, but the Dallas Cowboys were one of the only teams to really give him that consideration to bring him in. And I pounded the phone, sent email after email, called Mr. McClay probably once every 2 weeks. I said, listen, don't let this man pass you by. And so when he came out of USL, he got the MVP status and everything. I reached back out to him. I said, what else does he need to do? And he said, Perry, we're gonna take care of it. He's on our radar. Let us do what we need to do. Next thing we know, I get a call from Will and Alex, and said, Perry, we want to bring him in for a workout. When I got that message that he wanted to come in for a workout, my heart just dropped.
Absolutely.
I cannot believe this. It was just a lot of hard work.
Let me add something here. Being the registered agent and they come to me and the contract, I still wasn't 100%. You guys have done so much work. I've never seen something like this. What I love is that you just need one team to come back. And John Fassel, the son of Jim Fassel, that was a Giants coach and friend of mine when he was with the Broncos, when I had players with the Broncos. But my point was, it just took one team and one opportunity. You guys had mentored him so well. That is an amazing story. Let's go now back a couple more on you guys. We're going to take questions from any of you that may have questions. Ike may have a question, or Adam, because this is so important. You do all this hard work and you get a player in the Cowboy camp. They called back and said, boom, we want to sign him. That's a big deal. Let's go back to Brian. What happened after we signed him? What was, to walk us through that preseason game, if I may?
Well, you know, right there after he signed, KaVontae was just in tears. Number one, when he signed, he was just so excited, and I told him, I said, man, look, let's not get too excited to that ink dry. Number one, because I said this is the business, and I know how it goes. But once that ink dry, he was ready to go. So we had Perry and I had our final talk with him. We sent him out to camp. He was really waved in the media. The media really jumped on board with him. Fans interested in him. And, you know, he had a breakout game in LA against the Chargers. And it worked because I think we did a good job of mentally preparing him how to slow down this celebrity lifestyle. That's one thing that I wanted to preach to him is what he's going to face off the field with the media and with fans and that startup. And so I think Perry did a great job with getting him, working him with the on the field. But I was working with him in the mental. But he had a heck of a game in LA against the Chargers, taking a punt return back for over 70 yards and a kickoff back for about 90, but right at about 90 more yards. And it was just a wonderful game against the Chargers. And it was really his breakout game, and we really maximized and capitalized on that opportunity. He's doing a fabulous job at this.
So now we have a player in the NFL, both of you, and now the next step is advising, mentoring, marketing. Other agents are tapping on on his shoulder, if I may. You have a relationship. You've worked very hard once the day he signed. Perry, back to you. Give our future agent advisors what you've done. So walk us through some of the, not challenges, but some of the things off the field you're doing besides mentoring him and keeping him grounded. We went out to LA, I did, and my wife, and saw him play out there in Dallas, and we're all involved, but I think you are involved daily. So what are some of the daily activities that you're doing for KaVontae?
One of the things I really try to dictate to myself is to make sure that he's surrounded by good people within the organization. I've talked to the player personnel. I've talked to the brand manager for the Dallas Cowboys. I'm in touch with 4 or 5 of them, and they know how sincere we are about KaVontae and the direction that he needs to go. And we asked him, I said, listen, KaVontae, you have to stay focused on the field, things on the field. Things off the field, you have no control over. Yeah. And so basically I talked with Brian. I said, listen, we're going to handle the things that we can control as far as his stats, things he need to do, and just to make sure he does everything on the field. But at the same time, like Brian said, you got the snakes out there who want to get a piece of and we actually try to stay in touch with him at least once or twice out the week. And we want to make sure that we go to his games and we come and visit him as much as possible to let him know, hey, listen, we've got people, there's people here who genuinely care about you. And we want to make sure that you're going down the right path and surround him with good, genuine people such as us,
you bet,
his family members and things of that nature.
Well, and I met all of you down in Texas, met all the family. I was really proud of what you did, and Brian coming through hip surgery. Brian, we're going to take a question from Lonnie. Both of you will be able to answer it, but we want to welcome questions in. We could talk for 3 days on this great story of KaVontae Turpin, and it's exciting to watch what's going on with the Cowboys and what he's doing. And it's keeping me young and very proud of what you have done, but what our whole family and team, Asian Buyers and Adams mentoring and everybody, and Ike, and everybody's working hard. We're so proud of this story. Let's go to Lonnie with your introduction and question for Brian and Perry. Thanks for coming in, Lonnie.
Yeah, just want to say this is a great platform. So for Brian and Perry,
introduce yourself, Lonnie.
Okay, yeah, I'm Lonnie Bowden. I met with Mr. Lashbrook a little while ago. So we met in a coffee shop and we met at his office. So Oregon native, Portland State alum.
Right.
And I'm on this call. So good seeing you again,
Thank you,
Doc.
Lonnie, for coming in. I keep my fingers crossed you're going to get involved someday. Go ahead.
All right. So my question for the two gentlemen who were talking about Mr. Turpin is, how did you keep his spirits up? Because we know a lot of times, like, everybody hopes that they're playing college football, they're doing great things. Maybe they read the newspapers about where they're going to get drafted. You get an agent, so you get that opportunity, but it doesn't go his way, right? How do you guys keep his spirits up so he doesn't get down? I know you said some great things so far about keeping, like making sure you guys have that relationship, but how do you keep him on board about, hey, your goal is to get to the league and making sure he does it, especially like you said before, being 26.
Great question, Lonnie. Brian, I'll start with you. I love the question. Yeah. This is exactly the challenge.
Yeah. Hey, Lonnie, thanks. Great question. I think it starts with, number one, is I don't recommend any agent to be an agent to an athlete if you don't believe it, okay, or her. Number one, it starts with you. I believe Perry and I are KaVontae's biggest fans, and that makes it easy. That makes it easy for us, and it makes it very comfortable for him. Okay, so this is where the relationship has to kick in, because there are going to be so many variables that pull on his mental and bring him down. And at this point, he needs the support from the people that are very close and personal to him. And so for us, the relationship that we have with KaVontae is just like almost like a father and son, or a nephew and uncle type relationship. And it has to do with consistent communication. You can't talk to your athlete every 2 weeks. Perry and I make a goal to establish communication with him twice a week. And it's about setting, and Perry can talk a little bit more about this, but it's about setting those platforms with him. We don't just call him 2 weeks. We have set times and days. So we set organizational structure with him so that he knows these are the days that he's going to hear from his two biggest fans who are out there representing him.
Great insight, Perry. Add to that, and we'll take another question. I keep it rolling. Perry, go ahead and comment on your mentoring with KaVontae. Perry might have fallen asleep. He's working so hard.
Perry, you there?
Perry, one of the things Ryan said, we had to keep him.
We may have lost him.
We may have lost him. Hey, I'm gonna jump in here real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
I know I've been, I've talked with you, Brian, both you, Brian and Perry, about this. So I'm kind of curious, what do you feel like you learned as an agent and as an agent advisor with KaVontae as you kind of took him and helped advise him through leagues that you probably didn't have any experience with? I mean, you went to the fan-controlled football league, which is brand new. The USFL was pretty much brand new. He went over to Europe. What do you feel like you kind of really took away as an agent advising someone in leagues that you had pretty much no experience in?
Well, that's a good question. It's always a learning process. I'm finding out that you'll never get to the point of knowing everything. It's just treating it just like that's your son. One of the things that we did was did extensive research. Before we put him in that, we did some extensive research and networking with those leagues and those teams. So we were always ahead of the game. We were not right at the same pace with KaVontae as we're putting him in something that we don't know. So we always stayed a league or two ahead of what the plan was. So, for example, before he got with the fan-controlled football, we were working him out. He was in a workout zone. We were getting him prepared, and so for that time, we were already prospecting what would be his next move. For him, we wanted to show his quickness of feet and his agility. So we thought about the indoor. What are the indoor opportunities? Well, we didn't go to IFL rate. We end up noticing that there was a fan-controlled football. It had more media, social media exposure. So we thought that was good from a social media, to be able to get a more positive platform. That fan control was really just that, a social media type exposure platform. Then we moved them to the next level of playing, going overseas. Going overseas was to learn a different style of play. And so that was all part of building his resume. So we said, look, we're not just going to beat down the NFL doors. Perry was still building the relationships with the NFL team and reaching out to them. But we were putting him in situations that were available right there to get more film.
Brian, we got
more exposure.
We got Perry back in. Let's give him a little piece here, and we'll keep taking questions. I get a great question. Perry, comment on that agent role now that you have a client, and what are you learning from this as you grow?
Well, the thing is, you have tons of players out there, but you notice you hone in on ones that just has a talent that's different from anybody else's out there. KaVontae has a talent that is evident that everyone has seen over the course of the years, and basically you want to make sure that type of talent is out there for everyone to see. And basically, fan control football and Roklaw, the ELF, gave him those platforms to let everyone to see what type of talent he has. And even though he was enrolled in Poland, we actually saw the film here in the United States. And I've actually had a couple of NFL teams reach out to me and say, how did he get to Roklaw? I said, well, just from Brian, what me and Brian always discussed, it's about networking, and it's about those personal relationships.
You know what? I want to add to that. Again, I've never witnessed in my 25 years two people that worked hard. Let's keep taking questions. You guys are doing a great job. Try to pay that internet bill so that we can keep you in here, Perry. We don't want to lose you. Let's go to Melchi. I bring Melchi in for an introduction and question or comment. This is fun stuff.
Hello, nice to meet y'all. I'm Melchi Barbour. I'm a sophomore sport management major at York College of Pennsylvania. And I actually had a question for Mr. Lowe. So I saw in your sport management worldwide profile that you say it's not what you know or who you know, but who knows you. And could you tell me about how the connections you've made have gotten to where you are today? And any of you can answer that.
Great question, young man. And thanks for coming in today. I'm very proud of you. Go ahead.
Well, thank you for looking at that profile. I'm big on networking. I learned something in my 23 years in professional sports. I had the opportunity going from middle management, entry level to middle management to up front office, the VP level. So I learned different dynamics of the organization and the business. And one of the key things is about networking. And I always say networking, I took it to another level. I said, no, it's not network, it's net worth. What is your network worth? And I always said, look, everyone knows Michael Jordan, but if I was stranded on the side of a road and I needed $1 to get my tire fixed, Michael Jordan riding by. The question was, does he know me? Would I get $1 from him? No. So I always flip the script and say, you know what's most important? It's not about, you know, the old cliche saying, it's not about who you know. It's not about what you know. It's about who knows you. So, you know, when you'll learn that this in this business, it's really not always what you know. You can learn to know what you need to know. But people are hiring, people are relationships, people are advancing their careers based on relationships. And one of the things I always said, even when I was in the sales world, is relationship sales. At the end of the day, relationship sales. Yeah. That's going to be the key to advance movement, growth, and sustainability of anything.
And Brian, so, let me add something here. With Perry, you guys became friends, you networked, you're a great example. We have a 170,000 database. We do informational interviews. My Rolodex is your Rolodex. Anybody that takes an agent advisor course can say our company represents KaVontae Turpin. We're the parent company, as you well know. But you're absolutely right. The young man asked a good question. It's all about networking. And it leads me, until we get another question, I want to ask both of you, as you hold on to this client and work hard, you also need to keep recruiting. And I go back to, if you get Ralph Dawkins out of Louisville, maybe 2 years later, you get Brian Dawkins out of Clemson. And that's exactly what happens. And that's what we preach. So let's talk about how KaVontae, as your clientele, what that's done for you and Perry moving forward, as we also talk about how we try to grow our clientele and grow our business.
Well, you know, when I was in the sales world, I always said my sales philosophy, where you make your prospect your friend, your client, your salesperson.
Yeah.
So KaVontae is our client. Think about it. Who is he? He's involved. Everyone knows KaVontae, and everyone's going to reach out to KaVontae, even athletes, college athletes, high school athletes. So what are we doing? No, we're not just using KaVontae, but yes, we're building the right relationship with KaVontae and let him know how he can play a role to help build our clientele.
Yeah.
And so the first thing we don't want to do is just not give proper representation to KaVontae, looking forward to the next. So we want to solidify this relationship with KaVontae, and then we want to be able to take some very short steps in getting him involved in our recruiting process.
And Brian, I want to say something, and Perry, I'll bring you in. Partnering up, I think, was very clever. We have a lot of agent advisors that do that. And I will share with you, sometimes an agency with 100 clients, they really focus on next year's recruiting class and try to grow their clientele. What you both have done is you spent a lot of time on this young man because it's fragile and it's new to the world. It's unheard of, that story. 26-year-old rookie, never had the chance, never got drafted or anything. And I think, you do want to grow your business, and you do want to use that story to build and get more. It's the Matt Moore story for me, if I may. But let's go to Perry now. Perry, talking about doing a good job with your client, but still out there recruiting and doing a good job with other clients, because obviously the business model, you want more than one client in your career. Perry, back in.
Well, actually, it's sort of got a little bit easier because now
yes,
we have an affiliation with the USFL and the XFL.
Yes, you do.
And everybody knows how we got KaVontae to this level at NFL. Now I have coaches as well as players say, Perry, listen, we seen what you've done with KaVontae, and I've actually have a couple of players now that's with the USFL, and some of them probably will go to the NFL for the next year. But it has become a little bit easier because they've seen the progress and the process it took for us to get KaVontae to the next level, and they've seen what we've done. So it's become a little bit easier, but we still have to be more selective to make sure we just don't bring people in just because there's an affiliation.
So let's talk about, I'm really proud of SMWW. This is my baby, this athlete management course. Joe Corey has done a marvelous job. Talk about a short comment, both of you, on your agent athlete management course and your intentions of coming back and taking the NFLPA course to be totally certified, which we encourage for everybody. We have affiliate. You can also go out on your own, agent advisors. We're here for you, even if you're not registered. So talk about your experience. I'll go back to Brian. Brian, your experience in the course, and then I'll go back to Perry and what your intentions are of NFLPA. Brian, back to you.
Well, I enjoyed my time with Joe Corey. You know, I was well prepared for the NFLPA test. It's a fast track, and I think Joe Corey gave us the inside edition of all the details of what the agent life and the role would be, and he did it so brilliantly in 8 weeks, and a lot of the material prepared. It was hitting the court matters, things that we needed to know as an agent, the regulations, the law, the legal side of things, and the communication, the marketing, and the recruiting. All of that was just phenomenal in 8 weeks, and it just made a lot of sense for us. Just benefit us.
Let's talk. We got Justin has a question, but Perry, real quickly, the NFLPA certification course. Joe has an 85% success rate. You didn't get an opportunity the first time. I know you're going to come back and take that. Don't you feel that's the confidence builder for you to be a successful NFLPA agent, at least through the test taking, which is somewhat laborious?
Yes, indeed. I've actually taken the test before and I knew I passed it. But with this, with this opportunity that you would bring about with the sort of like a teaser to the, like a pre-test to the test.
Yeah, right.
I really think that this is going to be really, really beneficial to learning what you bring to the table as far as what we have to learn and what's on there, and then using that same information to actually pass the test. And I want to use that information to actually bring back, once I pass it, to still have that affiliation with SMWW, because you guys have taught me so much about what we learn here as agent advisors.
We're so proud of you. Let's go to Justin with your introduction and questions or comments for Brian and Perry. Go ahead, Justin.
Thank you, Brian and Perry, for doing this. I'm Justin from Richmond, Virginia, and I've taken a couple courses with SMWW, mostly on the basketball side. But my question to you guys tonight is, in playing the long game with KaVontae, what type of things did you guys do to encourage yourselves to just stay the course and know that you guys were making an impact, even though you might not have seen success early on with it?
Great question, Brian. I'll start with you, and then we'll keep Shai has a question. So we'll get a few more questions, but Brian, your comment on that.
Okay. Well, yeah, really it was about keep learning the business. I think that, you know, a lot of people can get in a situation where they think that they know everything. You're going to get to a point where you're going to learn that there's more and more that's out there. I think that to understand the long game, you have to increase your knowledge, learn a lot about the business, and increase your network. Continue to get people to know who you are as an agent and a sport professional. That's playing the long game. Again, you want people to know who you are, and get to know who your athletes are and get to know the business that you're in.
It helps to be in Monroe and know more of the family than anybody else. That's what I always said. Agent advisors, what they have over everybody else is their story and their location. Let's go to Shai with your introduction and question or comment as we continue. We'll take a few more questions to go to the top of the hour. Adam, McKell will be in to answer any of your questions. What a great group today. Shai, welcome in. Don't be shy, no pun intended.
Thank you so much. It's good to see you again, Dr.
Thank you, Shai. Introduce yourself. Thank you.
Thank you all. My name is Shyla, and I'm with Upper Iowa University. I'm a Omaha, Nebraska native. And my question is, Mr. Perry, what made you know that, I guess you could say, Dallas was the best choice for KaVontae? Like,
great question, Shai. Perry, both of them will answer that.
Yeah.
Well, we knew that Dallas had some shortcomings as far as receivers. There were a couple of standouts, whether it was CeeDee Lamb and Tashard Choice, which is actually no longer with the team. But we knew they needed some help in the kick return and punt return direction. And we knew what KaVontae did at TCU. And I said, this is a no-brainer. And so that's why I stayed and I talked with Mr. McClay, say, listen, I know what's needed at Dallas right now. He would be the ideal choice, the logical choice to bring him in at least for a workout to see what he can do. And basically the conversation we had over the last year and a half, you said, Perry, we know exactly what KaVontae can bring to the table. We just have to wait for the right time. And basically, we were just patient. And once he obtained that MVP status from the USFL, it almost all just came together at one time.
And Brian, go ahead, Brian. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, if I could add, Perry did, and that was part of the plan. Perry did a great pitch of what he could do, of why Dallas would be the right team on the field. I did the pitch on the business end, me being in ticket sales and marketing. It made a lot of sense. So I was talking to, the Jones and the Loomis them about and getting them to see this from a business angle, from putting butts in seats. You got a kid that's coming right out of Louisiana, and he was right there at TCU. If we put the right PR out there, you're going to increase. You're talking about getting all of the Horn TCU fan base, all of Texas coming right there. And so Jerry Jones, we also did our research. Jerry Jones big on guys, top talent from Texas. It's nothing new about that. So that was part of our pitch. So a lot of things just connected the dots. He's a Louisiana boy that played in Texas, has a great name, and you can't beat the America's team in Dallas. And that made a lot of sense.
So I'd call that gerrymandering, no pun intended. Let's go to Matthew next. Matthew, come in with your introduction as we continue to have fun with this great Doc Talk. Matthew, come on in.
Awesome stuff, guys. Good evening. Matthew Sanders, grad student, University of West Georgia in Carrollton, Georgia, about 60 miles west of Atlanta, Georgia. We know the career lifespan in the NFL, particularly when we're talking about KaVontae today, is a very, very small window. Can you guys talk about, not just for KaVontae, but also your other clients and your other players, what are you doing to prepare them for life after the gridiron?
And Matthew, before I go to them, I just want you to know, for 25 years, I talked to one of my clients, Alex Van Dyke, first pick in the second round of the Jets. When Keyshawn went out, I helped him start his business. I just love your question. I'll let, KaVontae's young, still wants to play, but I agree with you 100%. And that's why we started the Agent Advisor program. I help people get their careers, and that's what's wrong. The agencies need to spend more time with the person and not worry about growing your clientele at the expense of a person. It's a short shelf life, including a 26-year-old rookie. I love your question. Brian, let's go to Perry first and then Brian. Your post-COVID or post-playing career, what's your thoughts on KaVontae as we prepare?
I've always told not just athletes, but people in general, if you want to do something that you love and you can't do it because of either you physically can't do it, but you still love the game, there are so many opportunities in sport that you can actually get into that you can love: broadcasting, marketing, working in the front office. As long as you have that background and you have the education to know, hey, listen, there are some other things that I would love to do in sports. We actually want that person to actually decide what they want to do in life after sports, because there's so much more you can do and still make a pretty good living doing what you're doing. Lynn, you're doing what you're doing that you love to do. I don't know if you play sports or not, but you started a company, and they could do the same thing after they finish playing their sports. So it's a lot of stuff out there to where they can get into and love what they're doing.
KaVontae and I have a lot in common. We're the smallest player on the team, and of course, I got 3 interceptions in one game. Nothing that many accomplished in that. But let's go to Brian. I love the question, and I take a lot of pride in our philosophy here and the integrity of not only you, the agent advisors, but how you have an expectation, but knowing the family too. Brian, your comments on the same topic. Matthew, it's a great question.
Yeah, great question. Well, the first step of KaVontae, if you think about it, we've been started this process, not just before when he got to Dallas Cowboys. When he didn't finish college, he was 1 year shy, and so what we did was Perry and I did a great job in negotiating with him in the USFL. We got the USFL to actually pay for his last year of college whenever he's ready. So that's something that we had foresight in making sure that he gets his degree, number one. Now we're in the phase of helping him understand, and we're selling him to understand what he needs to do for the future in terms of financial advisement. We're talking about financial literacy. what's his next step, post-career opportunities, what he's interested in. This kid really never thought about that. All he thought about was getting to the NFL all of his life. So now he understands that he has a 5 to 7 window, and that's not a long time. And quite frankly, he can play much longer than that. But we have to look at that. That's the reality. You have about 5 to 7 years. What are you going to do after that? Where's your money going to be? What things are you going to invest in? What are you going to be? So right now, we've explained to KaVontae of those opportunities, even with Sports Management Worldwide, which is a high selling point of why he's with us and Sports Management Worldwide.
Well,
we understand those post-degree opportunities.
Yeah, and I want to add to this, being in the business for 25 plus years, the build-up and the household name, and I know life is temporary on the field. You can get hurt, whatever. I understand that, but if he handles himself like you're talking about personally, there's so many business opportunities for a Dallas Cowboy in Jerry's world, if I may. Probably no other culture. When I was in LA, half the fans were from Dallas, to be honest with you. It's probably, and I love my Kansas City Chiefs and that incredible crowd, but these kids have a chance off season to develop a persona and monetize what they're doing right there in Dallas. So it's very exciting. Anything else you want to add? I just want to say this before we kind of pass the mic over to Mikkel and Adam for answering any questions. I just love that people are in here. I will tell you this, the whole philosophy is there's more athletes with NIL now. Every high school senior and family, every college kid, even the backup, even the unknown is going to need advice. And there's not enough corporate agencies. It's almost like Uber versus taxi. It's almost like cell phone versus payphone. There's a revolution going out there of opportunity. And we're not talking just football. We got basketball and baseball and soccer. We got women's sports. We've got everything. And if you know somebody, you can learn this business. You can learn this business because we will teach you everything we know. There's no secrets here. When we came along, we said, we're going to democratize the opportunity out here. Nobody has to wait because their brother's a great athlete or their dad owns a team. You can work in sports tomorrow. That Brian and Perry, you both have trusted us. We trust each other. You're part of our family, and it's really a great story. I'm going to see if anybody. Oh, Adam wants to have a question here.
Well, first we're actually going to go to Matt Newton, an alumni of SMWW and actually a freshly new agent advisor too. So Matt, welcome.
My fault, Ike. I need to, they wear me out sometimes. I'm sorry, Matt. Come
no
on
problem. In. Matt, go ahead and unmute yourself and fire away with your introduction and question, please.
All right. Thank you for having me tonight. First off, I'm just my name is Matthew. I graduated from Wilmington University about a year ago. I ran cross country, track and field. I completed the athlete management course through Sports Management Worldwide 3-4 months ago. My question for you guys is, when you started out as an agent and an advisor, what were the key components to establishing your network or, getting connections?
Yeah, I'll start with that, being the founder of this little company that's growing globally, if I may. But simply put, I had Jim Steiner, Jerry Rice's agent, as my mentor. And every time I said we represent Jerry Rice, I can get a meeting. And that's how it all started. And so we at SMWW, whether it's my list of clients over 150, Matt Moore 2 years ago, now KaVontae Turpin, our story is a great story. And usually we get enough credibility. Ike will send out a portfolio. Adam will give you feedback on scouting. But once you identify a relationship, that's all you need. We bring the support and you learn as you go. They want somebody they can trust. And you need to catch them early. When I talk about early, you're not going to get a first rounder just because you want to be an agent. You got to know the story. And sometimes that's just meeting the dad or meeting the mom. And to be honest with you, one client leads you to another. When you get, like I said, Ralph Dawkins out of Louisville, undrafted free agent, you end up with a Hall of Famer. 2 years later. That formula works to this day. And the reason that Brian and Perry were so successful, it all started there in Monroe. There was a relationship. And it's a sincere, authentic relationship. No other agent had that relationship. And then we can compete with any potential client as long as the agent advisor has a relationship. We're really just another agency throwing down a portfolio. We want to have a relationship. We want to have two representing a player. We want somebody working closely with the family. Can't do it from Portland, Oregon. And that's why we created this concept. And that's why it's an opportunity. And that's what they've done. And it's a great question. Brian, do you want to add to that what we're trying to do?
Yeah, it's a great question. And thank you. I like to say just one little simple thing. You know, you don't need to know 1,000 people. You need to know one person that knows 1,000 people. And that's, if you have that mindset, you're going to be successful. It's hard to get out of you to know everyone. I think what I have done, and I know Perry as well, have built great relationships with people and paid very close attention to those relationships that we have with them, right, and build upon that. Right. You know, a lot of people will establish a very simple relationship, and then they go away and they go into the next one. No, we build great relationships with people. And like I say, whether it's athletes, whether it's teams, leagues, and so on.
Yeah, Brian and Perry, I'm going to go into another chat. We start a new launch with Lim Ridgewell, and I'm going to pass the mic to Adam McHale. But we have one more guest. Chandria, come in with your introduction. You guys have been great. Please stick around and learn a little bit more. We want to help you. We always say adrenalize today and monetize tomorrow. If you really, really want to learn how to be an agent, this course is designed for you with lifetime membership, weekly Zoom chats, resume service. We're not interested in your money. We're interested in helping you make money. Thank you so much. Great job tonight. Let's go to Chandria.
Thanks, everyone.
Hello. Good evening, everyone.
Hello.
Good
Go
evening,
ahead and
everyone.
introduce yourself. Yeah.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Chandria Smith, SMWW alumni, fellow Louisiana and Gramblinite. And I would just like to commend Mr. Brian and Mr. Perry on their on getting KaVontae, and the work that they're doing is very inspirational and empowering, especially being from an HBCU. My question to you is, what type of advice do you have for fellow HBCU students that want to tap into sports marketing? And also, I would like to know what type of philanthropic endeavors do you have that you're working on with KaVontae?
That's a good question. I'd say to answer your first question, what advice would I give to someone from an HBCU?
Yes, sir.
That you have all the advantage in the world. And I've worked with, but may not, people don't know, I've worked with every professional level league in professional sports. And I'm able to see sports from not just from a, ground view, but from a global standpoint, from abroad. And one of the things that I do notice as a young Black individual pursuing there's not too many of us that are in this business. And we kind of look at it as, well, there's not enough opportunities. No, you have the greatest opportunity, and you should maximize and capitalize on it. Okay. So there are, you can pretty much tell the HBCU is getting a lot of attention from athletics. And no one really is really going after a lot of the HBCU athletes. And it's a good thing. I'm speaking from an agent standpoint. So one of the things that because you have that relationship and that education from an HBCU, it only makes your recruiting efforts much stronger. Okay? So right now you're coming into the agent world that is really at the best time as an HBCU grad, because now all of HBCU is at high point attention to the world. And there are some phenomenal athletes that are coming from the power schools to HBCUs. And that's your home and opportunity to capitalize on being able to establish a relationship. Those individuals and those athletes are going to be looking for representation of people that experience the HBCU, what they experience. And you as a up and coming agent are going to have a lot of advantage than most of anyone else, to say the least. So that's a really good thing, and that's something that I use. And certainly I built that relationship with these athletes in that regard, in terms of who I am as a young Black man that had a Black college experience, and so on. And it's resonating with some of these athletes, okay? So yes, we are moving into the HBCU world. We are identifying some athletes that are coming from the HBCUs, and we're excited about that.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, guys. I guess I'm taking over for Dr. Lashbrook. I wanted to see if Leslie is available to come on. She is another successful agent advisor. Leslie, are you available?
I'm actually on. I don't know if you see me, but I am here, present, video on. Can you hear me?
Oh, we can definitely hear you.
Okay.
Has everyone else seen her?
I do.
Yes. Okay, perfect. Leslie, just really quick, give a 5-minute version. She's another successful agent advisor. Comes into I hold a weekly agent advisor chat every Wednesday for people that have graduated from any of the agent courses other than soccer. That's why Mikhail's here too. But Leslie has been successful enough. You want to kind of give your background and what you did for your player that was never expected to even get a workout for an NFL team. Well, and that's why Brian and Perry, I wanted.
Yeah, you know what? And Adam just asked me about 10 minutes ago if I would do this, but in the last year or so and congratulations, Brian, Lowe, and Perry. If people, the way people give in this organization, you really just can't say no, because I've never heard them say no to me and any of the things that I've needed throughout my journey as an agent. I'm actually a prosecutor. I'm an attorney in California, and doing that for 20-something years with always a background or goal to enter into sports agency. I happen to have a son that played for about 8 years, and it was just kind of a coincidence that I really learned from that end of it before I ended up pursuing it on my own as my career. But I started off with Joel Corey's course, and I would recommend it to everybody. It got me my certification and helped me prepare and keep me disciplined, because when you're working full time, you have a lot of other distractions, but you knew every week that you needed to focus in and have the problems done that week to keep you on track to get this exam out of the way. And you really want to get that done if that's something you plan to do. So once that was established and all the fees are paid and everybody's, trying to figure out, what are we going to do next? I actually went to Adam and said, what do I do next? Okay, I got the thing. And every week we talk on Wednesdays, and he just kind of helps guide us and tells us what we should be doing, where we should be. What are the exposition games? The person that I ended up representing was a friend of the family. They said, hey, we heard you did a really good job with Doug. Doug had his own agency, but Mama was present and available to I was a momager for sure, all the way from high school to his pro career. But, that kind of gave other people seeing what I was doing in my involvement. It brought a player from UC Davis. Now, UC Davis is not known for football, but you never say never. And you have a great kid with a great personality. He was a starter on maybe not the strongest team, but he had a lot of the physicality that they look for that position. So it was, just getting to the exposition programs going in, putting together the marketing, putting together the stats, then coming to the pro day. And anytime I had a question, you're like, I know they're not going to answer the phone. I know they're not going to answer the phone. Dr. Lashbrook answers the phone, which was incredible because sometimes those phone calls came at strange times of the day. And so at some point, we figured that the Atlanta Falcons were interested in my player. And I mean, there was a lot of other feedback, but they hooked into him. You only need one, and they were the ones. And they said, we're thinking about it. That week before, Adam said, send out the emails, send out the information, let them know what your the phone number, the airport, some more stats, just so they know. And you always want to emphasize the ones that are strongest. And then so we get to the draft, and the draft happens, and you're thinking best case, maybe a tryout, maybe a workout, or something in that regard after this draft is over. Well, the call came in the 7th round, and the thing I remember our organization talking about was, if the call is over, once they call you, if the call is gone, the offer is gone. So they called, they had the offer. My player, in his wisdom, thought maybe he might want to consider other offers.
And you're texting me, and I'm going, take the offer.
Take the offer. And he had no idea that by the end of the day, by the end of the 8th round, I call it the 8th round, he was
the priority free agent stage.
Yeah, he was an undrafted free agent with the Atlanta Falcons, and he had a 3-year contract. And I mean, they had no idea. He still thought he was working out. So it was a great feeling. It was wonderful up until the week before preseason started, and there was that whole thing with
and he had an injury.
He had an injury. And that's the story, you're going to hear all the different stories, but I can tell you that is a very thrilling experience.
I know, but
offer is gone, when they get off the phone, the offer is gone. And I have friends who were doing the same process, and they thought they could go somewhere and negotiate with other teams. They had no offer, no team.
Exactly, and that's why I wanted to bring you in, because you're another successful agent advisor, and I give props to Brian and Perry what they did with KaVontae, but it's happened with you. It's happened with James Fahey. It's happened with me. I've been with the company for 9 years and now represented over 9 different players in the NFL. And I'm not NFLPA certified. I don't have a master's degree. We do have, the connections to get your master's degree through Concordia University of Chicago and Fort Hays State. But trust me, you live and learn. And I think for the people that are on here that are graduates of any of the agent classes, make sure you come in. I mean, Brian and Perry have been doing it for a long time. But come into the agent advisor chats on Wednesday nights at 5 p.m. Pacific time, just because, like Leslie said, it's a learning curve. And she's NFLPA certified even. And you still need help every now and again. Yeah. And the networking that goes along with, once you take a class with us, and the network that happens and the connections you get is very beneficial to everyone. I mean, and that's just how things go. And I'm so happy you were able to come in and kind of share your experience, because the player out of UC Davis I'm like, yeah, he's a player. Let's see what happens at Pro Day. I was a little skeptical at first. But I also represented Kyle Sloter out of Northern Colorado, who was under the radar.
Yeah.
And was in the league for 5 years, and then went to the USFL and kind of had the same experience as KaVontae, and still is getting calls. And now he's kind of pitting the XFL versus the USFL, which is a whole nother doc talk that we could do.
Right.
But at the end of the day, you stuck with it. And I'll never forget when you posted your player signing his contract with the Falcons.
Yeah.
And how impressive is that? So
you're out. That was cool, but that was with your, you took us through every phase of that.
Of what's going to happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I'm happy because I've been through it 9 times. Trust me. I've done it so long that I kind of already know what to predict. And that's why I give my knowledge to all the agent advisors that take our classes. And I think it's worth sticking in there and being an agent advisor because your network opens. We have connections to all the teams. I sent Leslie, email addresses of all the different teams, and she would ask me, well, what do you think I should do now? And I said, well, are you following up? Do you have the defensive line coach's information at the Falcons to make sure you're following up? And she goes, well, I'm kind of there, but I don't know if I should do it yet. And her and I would collaborate.
Yeah.
And other than him getting an injury, I think he probably would have ended up at least making the practice squad.
Yeah.
But he got injured, and I went through that with Frank Stevens with the 49ers. I mean,
we're looking at XFL opportunities, and the Falcons actually called about a week or so ago. They were down like 3 D linemen, and they ended up picking up a guy who happens to have a father who played that, and that'll really frustrate you. The father played on the Falcons team, and they live right down the street. Oh.
It's part of the business.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's fun stuff.
It's part of the business. But thank you guys for coming in. I'm going to bring in Mikhail right now. Leslie, thank you so much, and hopefully you're able to make the chat tomorrow night. But thank you so much for taking some time to tell your story.
Gotta get back.
If you need to get back to cleaning, feel free.
Yeah, right? I'm hauling.
Brian and Perry, if you guys want to stick in, feel free. If not, you guys feel free to go. I'm going to bring in Mikhail right now to kind of say everything that SMWW has to offer.
Thanks, Adam. Appreciate you, my man.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Hey, you guys, by the way, thank you so much. You guys have done an awesome job with KaVontae.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Just keep going on, and what you guys and I know you guys talked about it a little bit with Dr. Lashbrook, but once you get the client, it's all about holding on to them. And you guys seem to be doing everything, because let's put it this way, there are other snaky agents out there that will try and come after your player. As often it's happened with all 9 of mine. But as long as you have a strong relationship with your player, that's all that matters, because they know you've already taken care of them.
Yes, indeed. That's the case, Adam.
There's no doubt about it. All right, let's bring in Mikhail. Mikhail, you want to come on in?
Yeah, I'm right here. Can you guys hear me?
Thank you, guys.
Hey, thank you, Brian and Perry.
All right, bye-bye.
Yeah, thank you, Brian and Perry. I mean, it's for you guys who are just coming into this business and want to know what the next steps are and what it takes to get to that level, right? So, I think research, and I think Brian and Perry did a tremendous job in just doing the research, being ahead of the game, knowing the team's parameters, because they knew the Cowboys were a little bit weak on the punt returns, right? So it does not make sense to promote KaVontae to the Chargers when they've already stacked on at that position. So throughout these courses, networking, but also knowing your team's parameters is key. Do your research. I think when you do the proper research, that's 50% of the job, really. So and that's that's a lot of stuff that we're gonna learn, that you'll be learning if this is something you're interested in taking some of our courses. It's really taking your expertise and your knowledge to the next level, right? I think that's what the platform that SMWW provides to all of you guys. And I'm not sure who's all in the room. We still have 25 people in the room, including myself and Adam. I'm not sure if you guys are alumni or are you guys thinking about taking some of our courses. It's our platform and the course that we offer are instrumental in terms of which direction in sports you want to go. Okay, whether it be sports broadcasting, whether it be working in the front office, in the back office, you want to be a GM, you want to be a scout, whether it be soccer, football, basketball, baseball, hockey. We offer 30 different courses in various directions in terms of sport-wise, whether it be e-sport as well, salary caps. I mean, for some of you guys who are very analytical in terms of numbers, you guys want to, baseball analytics. And our instructors are really currently still in the business. They're the best in the industry. Some of them, we have a former general manager of the Dodgers, Dan Evans, who's teaching one of our courses. I mean, just the wealth of knowledge that we're sharing, that SMWW is sharing with you guys throughout the 8 weeks course. I mean, you're going to be able to apply that right straight after you graduate from this college.
Well, one, I think not only that, Mikhail, but it's not only the courses we offer. They're all 8-week online courses. You'll see other courses out there. I know there's a certain company out there that does football courses, but you watch videos when you sign up. Our courses, you actually have live Zoom meetings with your instructors. You get to interact with them once or twice a week. You always have access to them via email and or phone. All the Zoom meetings are recorded and archived. To apply for the courses, it's free. We have payment plans. And here's what I think is big. After you complete the courses, we have free resume services that will redo your resume and gear it towards the career you want to get into. We have a whole job links area of teams that are hiring and what positions they're hiring for and where to send your resumes. Our instructors stay in contact with students via LinkedIn, and we'll give out career opportunities as well via LinkedIn. Also, they will write letters of recommendations for you. So if you let your instructor know he posts a position on LinkedIn and you decide that you want to apply for it, you apply for it, you send your resume after we've already redone it. You let the instructor know, hey, I just sent my resume over to the LinkedIn post that you sent out. They will make either personal phone calls or write the letter of recommendation. And to mention LinkedIn, we have a LinkedIn Alumni Association of, I believe, 15,000 people. We've been in business for 22 years. Now, a lot of our hiring people or our past graduates are now in hiring positions. Nick Nurse, the coach of the Raptors, is a graduate. Matt Matheny, manager of the Royals, is a graduate of our baseball analytics course. Nick Nurse actually went through our Concordia University of Chicago program and got his doctorate, because you can get masters and doctorates. We offer college credit for our courses through Fort Hays State. So if you're going to college and you need extra credits, you can use 3 of our courses. You get 2 college credits for each course, so 6 college credits through Fort Hays State, and Fort Hays State will transfer those credits to the college that you might be going to. On top of that, we have apprenticeship programs. We have a football apprenticeship program where you get to work with the guys that run the NFLPA game. And you actually get to go there and you do video scouting for them throughout the whole course of the college football season. We have a basketball apprenticeship where you get to work for Net Scouts basketball and you get to do video scouting for them as well. And that's going to be coming up. Obviously, the NBA season starts tonight. College basketball will start right after Halloween, and then leading into March Madness, you get into the basketball apprenticeship program. The applications are free to apply for. We have payment plans for all the courses. And I would try and do it now. And I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but eventually we are going to have to be raising our prices because we have such good instructors that we need to raise our prices if we want them to keep teaching our courses. And like Mikhail referenced, every single instructor in all 30 of our courses have experience in the industry. It's not like taking a college course and learning from a professor that has read it out of a book. You know, I talk to a lot of people that have sports management degrees. You know what? That's great. But it only qualifies you basically to run a city's recreation department. It doesn't necessarily qualify you to work in professional sports. What our courses teach you is what teams are looking for on a resume to separate who should we bring in for an interview and who just has a sports management degree or no degree, whatever it may be. But I'll tell you this much, it doesn't matter if you have a 2-year degree or just graduated from high school or you have a college degree. If you don't have certain things on your resume that teams are looking for, the likelihood of you getting brought in for an interview is very slim. And that's where our courses come into play, because we're teaching you the technologies they're looking for, the scouting reports that you might have to write. I mean, heck, even when it comes down to ticket sales, there's certain methods that they want you to know. And we have all those courses. So, Mikhail, and not to mention when it comes to the agent courses, Mikhail is the director of soccer agency. I'm the director of the agent advisors for the rest of the American sports. I think I already mentioned I've already represented 9 different players in the NFL. Mikhail, how many players do you guys have on the soccer agency side?
Oh, we got a few dozen, actually. We represent players here in the US, Major League Soccer, USL, South Africa, Europe. We work globally with agents, and obviously in different countries you have to have there's a set of rules. You know, I can't be registered in every single country because it does not make any sense. So we work with agents who take my course, and we work together as a team. And I think no other agency provides that. I think that's just a very minor thing, but it's overall it's a massive upside when you do become an agent advisor, whether it be on football, basketball, because basketball is huge in Europe as well.
And no matter what, after you take the agent courses, you have the opportunity to become an agent advisor, just like Perry and Brian were. You get a 40% commission split of anything the professional contract brings into the agency side of the company. So you can almost start getting a return on your investment right away after you finish the course. But does anyone have any final questions before we wrap things up? If you do, raise your hand or feel free to unmute yourself if you do. Any further questions?
I have a question.
Oh, go ahead.
Will, go ahead, man.
On the NFLPA exam, when's the best time to register for it? Like January, end of January or February?
Okay, so when it comes to the NFLPA exam, they only accept applications in the month of January. Okay. So you have to apply for the NFLPA exam in the month of January. You have to send in your application by the first week in February. So really, they'll take it to the first week in February. You got to submit $2,500. You got to submit fingerprints. They'll do a full background check on you. And then right around June, they will send you a letter telling you whether or not you have been qualified to take their exam. And just since people are interested in age or more curious, so I'll give you a breakdown just really quick. For the NFL, to take their exam, you have to have a master's degree. For the NBPA and hockey, you need to have a 4-year degree. For baseball, as of right now, and it might change, you only need an associate's degree to take their exams. The beautiful thing, for like I said, I've represented 9 guys in the NFL. I don't have a master's degree. I took the athlete management course. I co-represent players with Dr. Lashbrook because he's NFLPA certified. So we have certified agents in all the sports, just like Mikhail is, you know, soccer as well. So what you can do is take any of those agent courses, and if you don't qualify for their exams, like for me, I could go take a master's. I had a good enough GPA to go take it, things like that. I have a 7-year-old daughter that I love spending time with. And for me right now, I'm looking at our master's degree through Fort Hays State. But at the same time, I'm cool with making 40% commission. I'm fine with that. Other people might not be. But that's the cool thing about our agent courses is after you complete them, you're able to become an agent advisor and start making some commission, and you're doing agent work. I was the day-to-day contact for all my clients, helping the family get field passes or player lounge passes or tickets to the game or whatever it might be. But I'm fine with that right now because my family life and the time that I have, I just can't take on a master's degree right now. Okay. So that's up to each individual after they complete the courses. Any other questions?
Yeah, on that, you have to register for in the state you're in as well, right?
Well, here's the deal. So once you become an agent advisor, SMWW is already registered in multiple states. So you fall under our umbrella because you're an agent advisor. Now, I always recommend that I register in the state of Wisconsin and Colorado, because that's where I do a lot of my recruiting from, just to say that I'm a registered agent advisor. I don't say I'm a registered certified agent through the NFL, but I'm a registered agent advisor. But either way, you still fall under our umbrella. So you don't have to get insurance. Okay. You really don't have to register in the states. I just do it out of the states that I'm recruiting from, just to say that I'm a registered agent in that state.
Okay, because I already passed the athlete management course and the GM Scout course.
Well, then when are you going to start coming in on Wednesdays at 5 p.m. to my agent advisor chats, Will?
I've been so busy from school. I'm in the taking community, but I'm trying to get it maybe next week.
Well, yeah. And I'm telling you, like I said, the most successful agent advisors we have, and I'm sure Mikhail will agree with me on this, is the people that come in those chats at least 2 or 3 times, at least twice a month, because you're going to learn a lot more knowledge than it's just extra guidance that we provide after you complete any of the agent courses. And I would suggest taking advantage of it.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Any other questions?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead. Is this Jay?
Yes, sir. This is Jay. I'm currently taking a master's program in sport management, and I was looking at trying to become a agent on the collegiate level, even with the NIL deal in place now. I just want to know more information. How can I become certified of being a NCAA sport agent?
So NCAA sport agent in basketball is possible, but other sports not possible. What sport are you interested in?
I was looking at football because I have.
Yeah, there is no such thing. Are you talking about just strictly NIL deals?
Not just NIL deal, but pretty much as overall.
Yeah, so when it comes to football, if you're going to be an agent, you legally cannot talk to the players until after their junior season.
Okay.
When it comes to NIL deals, and it's kind of like the wild, wild west out there right now. Everyone's shooting guns off and making a big deal out of it. But to tell you the truth, all the NIL deals right now in college are coming through the athletic department. Like, for example, University of Miami has a deal with a gym down in Florida that any player on the University of Miami football team gets $5,000. And they don't have to do anything for it. They just get it. And the gym just hopes that some of the players work out there sometimes, even though they have a gym at their own facility. But they tried to do it to make news. And then other people see the big NIL deals like Spencer Rattler signed, or the guy down in Texas that signed with the Texas Ferrari deal for $1 million. NIL deals aren't necessarily like that. If you are an agent and you want to do NIL deals, first of all, you better take one of our courses before you even get into it so you understand what it's all about. Second of all, for my players, NIL deals come down to, I used to own a business. I know a lot of other business owners. What I would do is go to the business owner I know that owns a car dealership and say, hey, if I can get X player from Oregon State to sign an NIL deal with me, will you bring them up to your car dealership, pay them $2,000 to be there from 9 a.m. until 1 p.m. on a Tuesday to sign autographs? That's the reality of NIL. NIL right now, you know how Jimbo Fisher and Saban got into it?
Yes.
And how, you know, Saban said basically Jimbo's just paying all of his players through NIL. That's what I mean. It's all coming through the athletic department. Now there's some, like the Spencer Rattler deal was through an agency, but that's one and far between. I mean, and imagine if you're that agency that did that, because now where's Spencer Rattler? He's not even going to be a draft pick. And you gave him $1 million NIL deal. He couldn't even hold on to his job at Oklahoma. You know what I mean? So NIL, I suggest if you're interested in it, learn the rules about it, and don't offer it to anyone as an agent unless if you know for a fact that you can get it done.
Okay. And last question. This might be a repetitive question that the gentleman before me was basically asking.
Mm-hmm.
With the NFL PA, I read the information on the website. Do you guys have like training for like the NFL PA?
Oh, a training course of
Yes.
if you're going to go take the NFLPA exam, we do have a course called the NFLPA prep course. And with that course, 2 years ago, we haven't gotten the numbers back yet for this year, but 2 years ago, the passing rate was 43%. If you took Joel Quarry's course, that passing rate, which is the course we offer, went up to 89%. So that, it definitely works.
Okay.
Anything else, Jay?
That's it. Thank you so much.
Oh,
Thanks,
you're
Jay.
welcome. Any other last questions before we wrap things up?
Yes, I had a quick question.
Sure. Is this, well, it says N4.
Yeah, so my name's Noah Fort.
Hey, Noah.
I'm a current graduate student at Old Dominion University pursuing a master's in sport management.
Okay.
My question was, as a sports agent, so when you become certified, how do you go about looking to acquire clients? Do you start off looking to work with an agency first and then they help you look for clients and you work with them?
No.
No,
Nope.
no, you got to put in the work yourself, man. So really what it comes down to is once you become an agent, that's why a lot of our agent advisors that took our course, they stick with us so we can help them, guide them through the process of how to acquire your first client. It's a recruiting process. You know, they don't just fall out of the sky, unfortunately. If it was that easy, we probably wouldn't even have this conversation right now. But yeah, I think there's a lot of research that needs to be done, right? There's a lot of recruitment. You got to go show up to games. You got to, but also know when to recruit, right? Might need to get parents involved in it, depending which sports you're.
The times of the year, like Mateo said.
Yeah.
When do you start sending out the marketing materials? When do you start making contact with the player? Yeah. And like Mikhail I've been pretty successful with 9 players in the NFL. I always get the parents involved because 9 times out of 10, the parents or the guardian are going to be involved in that decision-making process.
Yeah, they're the gatekeepers a lot of times, right? So, but you're mastering in sports management, so they don't. So become an agent, and sports management is kind of a broad subject. If you
very broad.
So now you finish the course, you finish your degree, but now you got to figure out, okay, which direction do I want to go now, right? Because they don't teach you in whether it be in the front office, where it's going to be sport broadcasting or NIL deals or how to become an agent, right? There's all kinds of rules, laws, and regulations involved in it that they don't necessarily teach you. So, great question, but yeah, it comes down to taking an actual course that's just purely designed
geared towards becoming an agent. Yeah. I mean, like I for example, give me an example of 2 of the courses you're taking right now for your sports management degree.
Sports finance and sports analytics.
Okay. So in your sports analytics course, are they teaching you any of the software that is being used throughout any of the sports? So let's say when it comes to soccer, it's Y-Scout. When it comes to baseball, it's Synergy. When it comes to football, I mean, are they teaching you any of those softwares?
We've been using something called SPSS to do computer assignments.
Right. So each sport has a specific software that they use, right? For analytics. Baseball has their own software that's specifically designed for baseball.
For just baseball.
Just baseball. Soccer has a special software that's just specific for soccer. So there you go. So that's that. I think you can kind of answer the question yourself, right? So, but needless to say, I mean, it's a great course, right? It's a great part of
it's a good degree to get, but you need to narrow it down. Like I said earlier, when it comes to working in professional sports, they're looking for specific things on your resume that takes your resume from let's interview him to it's just another sports management degree. And that's where our courses come into play. Because when it comes to analytics, we're teaching you the software that the sports are using. When it comes to scouting, we're teaching you how to write the scouting reports in the software they're using in scouting, because the software they're using in scouting is different than the software they're using in analytics. So that's where it all comes into play. But I gotta wrap things up. My daughter's hungry. Any other questions?
Yeah, I just want to echo, this is Jay again.
Okay.
I just want to echo as well with me being a master's, actually majoring in master's of sport management. Pretty much everything that you guys just covered with the gentleman who attends, I believe, Old Dominion, if not mistaken. And I can attest to what he's taken as well, because that's actually the courses I took last semester. And I actually took this semester off because of my job where I currently work at. And even just trying to narrow down exactly what I want to do with the program, sport management. And what I realized is that I actually want to become a sport agent, whether if it's on a collegiate level or professional level. And basically everything I've learned throughout the program, it really hasn't taught me the ins and outs of how to be a sport agent.
Yeah, it's not going to.
Yeah.
And
because they do a broad aspect of it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And learning how to be a sports agent, from what I know, we're the only type of school out there that actually you learn, like Joel Corey's course, athlete management, or the soccer agent course. You're actually learning from guys that are or were sports agents. So they teach you how to do it.
Who also have experience within the sport itself, right? So I think that has to be said. So yeah, so Jay, you hit the nail right on the head, right? And I think, sorry, Noah, I think you kind of understand right now where, you know, because if you already know which direction you're going to go within sports management, now you can kind of like create a pathway for yourself. Okay, what are going to be my next steps? It's great to have a master's degree in your pocket, absolutely, 1000%. But what are you going to do with it, right? What direction you want to go? You're going to just knock on a team, say, hey, I got a master's degree in sports management. Do you want to hire me? They're going to be like, what
do you bring to the table?
Yes.
And that's where our courses come involved.
Yeah.
Anyways, any last questions? Otherwise, I got to wrap this up. Or Michaela, you can stay on.
I have to jump in the other session.
Okay.
So.
All right. Well, thank you.
What day these sessions? Because I definitely want to hop in more often because this is my first night.
Jay?
Jay, have you taken a course?
I haven't taken a course yet, but after looking over the website and everything, I'm interested in taking a course.
All right, Jay. Hey, do you got a pen and piece of paper handy?
Yes, sir.
I'll allow you into my agent advisor chat tomorrow night, but email me your information. My email is Adam, ADAM, at S like sports, M like management, www.com. So Adam at smww.com.
Okay.
All right. Email me and I'll give you an invite for tomorrow night's Agent Advisor chat.
Okay. Sounds great.
All right. Thanks, guys. Everyone, appreciate you guys coming in tonight and spending your time with us tonight. Great job to Brian and Perry. Mikhail, thanks for sticking in. I know you got to go, and so do I. And look for other Doc Talks coming out. Thank you, everyone.
See you guys.
Guys.